Parents, how did your kid make me a better person? I was the guy who answered work calls during my own kid's birth. I'm Daniel, and 4 years ago I was drowning in real estate deals while my son Leo was growing up without me. I knew he liked dinosaurs and peanut butter, but I couldn't tell you his teacher's name or his favorite color. My phone never stopped buzzing. Not during dinner, not during holidays, not even when my wife Hannah begged me to just put it down for 1 hour. I'd promised to make it up later, but later never came. I missed his 3rd birthday because a client needed to see a house right then. I showed up late to his preschool sing-along because I was closing a deal. Hannah stopped asking me to come to things. She'd just say, "Leo's got soccer," and I'd nod while typing an email. One Tuesday night I came home from a client dinner around 9. The house was quiet. Leo was asleep on the couch, clutching a piece of paper. I picked it up. It was a crayon drawing of our family. Hannah in purple, Leo in green, and next to them, a big empty space with the words, "Daddy's phone," written in his wobbly handwriting. My chest felt tight, but I put the drawing on the counter and told myself I'd spend more time with him after this quarter's numbers came in. 3 weeks later, Hannah called me 17 times in a row. I was in a presentation with my phone on silent. When I finally checked, my hands went numb. Leo had a seizure at daycare. I drove 90 miles an hour to the hospital. By the time I got there, he was stable, hooked up to monitors, eyes closed. Hannah was sitting beside him. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She just looked at me and said, "He asked for you the whole ambulance ride." That night, I sat in that hospital chair watching Leo's chest rise and fall. A nurse came in to check his vitals and mentioned that seizures in kids can sometimes be triggered by stress. She said it casually, like she was talking about the weather, but those words hit me like a truck. My 4-year-old son was stressed because of me. I stared at the monitor beeping next to him and realized I knew the square footage of 42 homes I'd sold that year, but I didn't know how many freckles my son had. I couldn't name a single friend he played with. I didn't know what he was afraid of or what made him laugh hardest. The next morning, I told my boss I was taking leave. He actually laughed and said nobody at our firm takes leave unless they're getting fired. I told him I didn't care. For the first week, I was terrible at being a dad. I burned pancakes. I forgot it was show and tell day. I didn't know Leo needed his stuffed elephant to sleep, but he didn't care about any of that. He just kept saying, "Daddy's here," with this huge smile. I started walking him to daycare every morning. I learned his teacher's name was Miss Karen, and his best friend was a kid named Ben who always wore a cape. I found out his favorite color was orange, and he hated mushrooms but loved broccoli if you called it little trees. I started cooking breakfast instead of grabbing fast food. We'd sit together and he'd tell me about his dreams, which usually involved flying dinosaurs and pizza. On weekends, I taught him to ride a bike. He fell a lot, but every time he got back up, he'd look at me to make sure I was still watching. I was. I always was now. My career slowed down. I lost clients. My boss stopped calling me the closer. But for the first time in years, I felt like I was actually living. 6 months later, Leo drew another family picture at school. This time, I was in it, standing right next to him and Hannah, holding his hand. No phone in sight. He taped it to the fridge himself and said, "That's you, Daddy. You stayed." I still work in real estate, but now I leave at 5.